When we're searching for words, if we want a complete word, we can start looking for boundaries that surround the string. So we can use something like /s that represents white space. So rather than just saying we require a space, well, that space might be a tab, or it might be a line return. So it's much easier to be able to use something like /s that represents any white space character. /b represents a word boundary, which again might be a space, but also could include things like a hyphen as a word separator. So a word boundary can be shown by /b. Incidentally, if we uppercase the B or the S, then we're not looking for a word boundary, or we're not looking for a white space. So we reverse the meaning of that boundary. So just using a capital letter instead of the lowercase reverses the meaning. So if we had something like \s system, then that matches file space system. Also, if we had file tab system, it would match that. Whereas if we use the word boundary, it would match file space system or file hyphen system. So again, it's choosing the correct boundary separator for our regular expressions. We're going to jump onto the command line now so we can start seeing some of this in action. So let's begin by returning to the grep search, where we're going to look for the string server within our ntp.conf. So as we go through and use the old backup file, we can see that we're matching the plural of server as well as server. So if we change the search just a little bit, so if I try and put, say, a word boundary here, now of course this is where we've definitely got to go in and start using our quoting mechanism. But if we give this a whirl, we can see now that we've been able to exclude the matches on servers. But of course, we've still got server that's not on the beginning of the line. So we could in fact include a word boundary here. But because all of the words start with server, that's not going to eliminate the problem. So again, we can go back to putting in then the start of the line. To be honest, in this case, because we then don't have servers starting our line, it's all that we really need to reduce our search. But we can start looking at how that can be used. As well as using the word boundary here, we could also go through and say, well, server and space. And of course, that's going to reduce it for us anyway, because we were looking at the start of the line. But if we take that out, then we can see that we excluded the first line that we had, where we had servers showing. So we've only got occurrences of the word server. If we change this slightly, saying that we don't want a space at the end, so using the uppercase S, now we're only seeing the plural of servers. Again, it's just showing you how flexible the regular expression can be, but how on the ball you have to be to realize all of the combinations. When we go through starting to look for something else, where we go through, let's say, and grep for the string pop in the etc services file, we can see when we're getting the result now that we're including things like kpop and pop past and pop past D, so we've got those twice for TCP and UDP, as well as the kpop. If we only want, let's say, pop 2 and pop 3, and maybe not even pop 3s showing, then what we can do is clear out the information a little bit, move back up, and then we say that we want then the word pop. So we can say that we want a word boundary before this. And we can say then after this, we need a 0 through to 9. And then another word boundary. Remember, when we put the ranges in for the character class, we're only including a single character there. So even though we're looking for 0 through to 9, then we can have one occurrence of a character, but one only. If we wanted 2 numbers, we'd have to use a quantifier or put the brackets in twice. Now when we go through and search for this, making sure that we close off the quotes, we can see then that we've got POP2, POP3 showing. Again, it's showing twice because we've got TCP and UDP. So we've adequately shown our word boundary. But again, if we go back up and then say, put a capital B in front here, and then go through and look, well, we don't have anything that doesn't have a word boundary before the POP there. And we can repeat this by trying the capital B at the end, and there we can see now we've got POP3S. We don't see the POP2 here, and we don't see the ordinary POP3 without the character following. So again, we've been able to reverse our search. So using our boundaries can be quite useful, but again, it's just getting used to the complexities of the language and practicing. It's like anything, practice does make perfect. So let's jump back now to the slides and take a look at quantifiers. We talked that quantifiers could be useful here, saying if we wanted multiple numbers or whatever we require, we can specify how many of those that we want. We also saw it with the use of the word colour before, using the question mark to make the U optional, so we could have the US and the UK spelling of those words. We're now going to see those quantifiers in action. First we'll start with the slides and then we'll jump out to the command line again.